we know what these are for now. They're for making eyeballs. So this was an idea or a way of doing it that Nilhiem Mechatronics did. It's got some great videos. They're really fascinating, but it's for making these things, eyeballs. Now we have a 3D printed eye which is painted, and then we put veins on and we paint the iris, and I've filled that with UV resin, and we have to put resin around the outside, and that's what these are for. Now I'm still playing with it, but I just wanted to show you the first one I did, and that's this one. It was a test one anyway. I'd mucked up the cornea, but this is my first one to put the clear caster over it. But I did it all, and this is the outcome to start with. And if Mr. Nilhiem is watching this, he'll probably go, well, that's the painting thing, what do you expect, you idiot? Well, yeah, I've realised that now, so I shouldn't have used that mount, I should have used this mount. When he said about first casting this, which is what I used for this, he said to put blue tack around the edge, and I did that for casting this, but not for doing this clear cast. And what's happened is all of the clear cast has run into the inside, and it's stuck in there, and there is no way I can get that out. And you notice I've also bust some of the things. So just wanted to show you what I've done to set it up. So this is the mount I'm supposed to use. This is printed in ABS. I've got a PLA one, but it was way too fragile, and they would just keep on snapping. So this ABS is a bit better. And what I've done, I've really sanded it all down, and then I've sanded it with a much softer one, and just to make sure it goes into the eye correctly. But what's going to be the issue is this bit here. So if you notice, there's still a gap. Now I think he did a little extra thing on it for casting, which I think might have to go there, but it still doesn't, for me and my printout, it still leaves this little bit. So what I've done on the other eye, because I'm going to cast two at once, is use a strip of blue tack as well, but not around that bit, and I'm just going to cut off about 2 mil of this bit where the screw goes into. So both sides, it comes off quite easy because you're cutting along the seam anyway. So there, both of those are cut off. Now if I pop that in there, it should now go right in, and is now lower than that edge, which means that butts up tightly against it. Now I don't think he said to do this, but this is how I'm going to do it. I mean, what might happen is this then doesn't go in there correctly. I don't know, maybe it leaves too much at the front. When I have the extra sleeve around there, it seems to push in too much. So I really don't know what the right way of doing it, and I couldn't really work it out from his video. So I'm just going to do this way and just prepare this. So I've got a bit of blue tack. Make sure it's clean blue tack. And push that in again, and just pop it round the outside of the eye, the eyeball, and leave a little bit. And I'm going to remove a lot of this as well, but what I want it to do is make sure that it just works like as a little gasket, which is what I had to do for the other one. So it sort of makes sense that I'm doing it for the same for this one. So in I go, and then that should definitely push in, but I will now just tighten it up with this as well, if I can get it in there. It's tremendously fiddly, this bit is. And let's catch in, and let's do the same with the other one. That's it, just about gone in. this in. I've just got to make sure that this is tight. The one thing is, at least I've got a 3D printer, so I can print out another one, but I had to print this out really slow as well, so it really stuck well. But this is much better than the previous ones. So I'll tighten it up a little bit there. So hopefully that's collected it. Then what I did is took out some of this, so I'll just squidge it down a little bit. And I'm just using this knife to trim off the excess blue tack. Trying not to get it, I'm trying to not to get it down into the seam between them, between the collar and the eyeball. I'm just trying to go in just above that a little bit, just to reduce the volume of the blue tack in here. Failed on that bit. So hopefully now I can pull this out without it pulling the stuff out in the middle. And then there's one more thing that I did. I've prepared the other. I'm doing 2 of these at once, so I've tried this all out on the first one. It's not working as well as the previous, but I think the blue tack is a lot harder when I'm in the cave, because the cave is incredibly cold. I'm surprised you can't see dragon's breath. Alright then, so once I've got the bulk of that out, I'm just pushing it back in, and it just so happened that the Allen key was a nice little way of pushing it in. So hopefully that should seal it, and we should get no clear cast in there, but will remain to be seen. So that's just my technique that hopefully will work to try and get a good cast around the outside of this eyeball. So there you go. So you should go in there without an issue, and I'll cast those up, and I will probably on the end of this video show you the results. Right, it's been about 3 days, 4 days. I really haven't touched it this time, and the resin has definitely caught. Whoop, there you go. So that's useful. Must keep that pack if the resin doesn't stick to it. Yeah, so that it's definitely set now, so that's good. Don't need this. Alright, so they're a bit tacky still. So this is the original, well, not the original, one of the original molds. Alright, so let's try this one. Ooh, that's not bad. That'll work. Needs polishing up, but happy with that. And oh, apart from just that little gap there, we've caught all of the must have been a bubble. We've stopped it going down into that crack, so that's okay. And I can't see any down there. I hope I'm right. Alright, there's one. Let's try this one. It's sort of like breaking into a toffee apple. It's just the wrong colour. Oh, that doesn't want to snap off. Oh, this one might have gone wrong. Right. Oh, there we go. Eee. Oh, some bubbles in that one. Oh well. What I like is the way that the clear cast has coped with the going over the UV resin, and it's all very circular, so that's good. Right, so I'll snap these off somehow, well, at some point. Then the next thing I've got to do is polish up the eyeballs. So there you go.